Welcome to another website review where I am picking an industry, diving down to pick some folks that are advertising right now and doing a deep dive into their website and their online presence to learn a little bit about their business, to come up with some ideas on how we might be able to make a business better. And for those of you that are members, you get to kind of benefit from listening to the strategies and the tactics that I would employ based on my experience. But for those of you that aren't members, this episode is meant to just walk you through how a business is seen on the internet. It's meant to give you as an entrepreneur or a business owner some ideas about what changes you might want to make to how you're represented online to ultimately attract more business, grow your bottom line, build a valuable business. And I do this because I like to learn these things myself. In fact, I will pick industries or I will pick marketplaces where I don't have a business in those markets because I like to see what other companies are doing, how they're solving some basic problems that every business has. Because the unique thing about business is that a lot of this stuff is transferable across businesses. And so today I am going to be taking a look at tax consulting. Yes, I know, super dry and boring, right? But hang out with me because this would reflect somebody who's in the personal services business where they are offering their knowledge as opposed to a product or as opposed to a widget. They are offering their knowledge. And so I'm just curious to see how they represent themselves, how they, what tricks and tips they're using to try and attract business and ultimately where the opportunities are. So let's get into it. The first thing I do is I look to kind of just see some of the ads that might be running right now, some of the most popular ads. And I kind of saw this one down here and I could see that it looks like they've done quite a bit of work to try and create an online presence for themselves. So this would be svtaxcoach.com. So if we go to Silicon Valley Tax Coach, what we immediately see is svtaxcoach.com. Looks like stands for Silicon Valley. That's awesome. Request a consultation, your email, effective tax planning strategies. It looks like there's it is never too late to start saving. Yeah, so they've got a bit of a rolling image happening here, which is kind of cool. What is a tax strategist? Why work with a tax strategist? Get your tax strategy. Who we serve? Tax consultant, San Jose. So anyway, they're in the tax business. I like to use SEMrush to kind of get a sense of what the organic, kind of just the natural organic results of a particular company would be. So for svtaxcoach.com, you can kind of see they kicked into gear in 2020, had a huge spike in April of 2020. It's come off a little bit, so something must have happened there. When we look at their organic keywords, it basically means if you've done a good job of creating any kind of online presence, there's a bunch of keywords that come up. And for this one, we see tax strategist, we see certified tax coach, tax strategist, tax coach. So we're thinking of the words strategist and coach. And then let's just see if that carries through into their actual offering. This is kind of cool. So, they got traffic equally split between informational, navigational, commercial, and transactional. Transactional means that people are interacting, they're buying goods and services on the website. Informational means that the audience is just looking to get answers to specific questions. And navigational is we just need directions to how to get to the place we're going. And then commercial would mean they're looking to investigate a brand or a service. So they've specifically gone to the website to learn about whatever it is this particular company or individual is offering. So that's a really nice split to see. I then like to take a look at serpstat.com just to sort of see what the organic keywords are that they come up for. And it looks like Silicon Valley, tax coach, strategist, consulting. So again, that's kind of consistent along the strategist coach line of thinking. Traffic trend has been ginormous, right? You just sort of see the impact. They've obviously had something going on for a while. They're out of Silicon Valley, so I imagine they've got some techie people helping them out. We can see their top pages are what is a tax coach, tax planning for business owners, and then tax preparation done right. That sort of seems to be how they're ranking their top pages. Some of the competitors, svtaxconsulting.com, KWBA Accounting, CPAs.com, the tax strategist. So that's interesting. So they kind of seem to be in the right area in terms of who they're competing with. We don't really get to learn a whole lot more than that, other than, okay, so they're ranking. They've got some keywords that are producing some customers. All right, and then if I just sort of usually finish off with moz.com to kind of just reiterate who the top pages are, I just like to kind of get just sort of a check and balance. So they got a client login. That seems to be a popular page, a tax prep done right. And then small business accounting services. So now the web domain we were at was svtaxcoach.com. And yeah, it looks like, okay, so it looks like they've got this page here that says message number 1. So that's probably like a welcome message when you register with their site. So, okay, interesting. So we kind of get a sense that they're doing some work to get out there. If we look at their traffic, we can see that over somewhere around April, they made a couple of changes. They got a big boost going into May, June, and July have been pretty strong months from a traffic perspective. That might be to do with the time of year that people file tax returns. If we look at all time, we can see that, yeah, they've really been working hard. Somewhere earlier this year, they started really putting a lot of effort into their website and trying to do some stuff. So that's kind of cool. We see that they should be a strategist or a coach. So if we drop into their business right now, what do we see? We see, look at that. What is a tax strategist? Why work with a strategist? Get your tax strategy and who we serve. Effective tax reduction planning strategies. If we go through the carousel, we get it's never too late to start saving. Get a free book with your consultation. That's kind of cool. At the top here, you might miss it if you don't look carefully, but book an appointment. That takes you over to Calendly. Make a payment. So that's why we saw the transactional, the percentage of people on their site doing transactional stuff is kind of cool. They have a client portal, which is really important. I think if you're a tax guy, if you want to submit your information, yeah, it all seems to be checking out. And let's see if we learn a little bit about these guys. Guys or guy, I'm not sure if it is a firm. Oh, so we got Russell Barnett. Looks like he's the guy. He is the tax strategist. And write-offs to the rescue, that is their free book. So again, let's just drop into the main page here and see what we can learn. Tax prep done right, tax services. So kind of, everything is as you would expect it to be. Let's jump over to Google now and take a look at what Google says about the Silicon Valley Tax Coach. 5-star reviews, which are awesome. I always like to look to see if there's any negative reviews or the ones that are in fact the lowest. And look at that. It's an accountant. Boom. Knocking it out of the park. 5 out of 5 out of 5 out of 5. Interesting that he's not responding to a lot of these. Okay, but there are some responses there. Maybe just hasn't gotten around to it lately, but 5 out of 5. It's a great fit. If we go to the website, as you guys know, I like to, when you're trying to attract customers or you're trying to, when you're trying to market your business, trying to sell your business, you want to make sure when people see you, they can identify with exactly what it is that you are doing. I get the sense in this particular company that it's a little bit, I don't know that we see a picture of Russell anywhere. I don't think that these clip arts are Russell himself. I just want to make sure I'm saying that right. It is Russell, right? Yeah, Russell. So we don't really see a picture of Russell anywhere, which kind of interesting. Maybe Russell just doesn't like to be seen. It's fine. Not everyone wants to be seen. I think, however, what you do want to do is figure out a way to just sort of immediately define who you are. When we hear strategist and coach, I think that does conjure up the idea, well, what is tax strategy exactly? And are you trying to save me money? Are you trying to reduce the taxes I pay? Like, what strategy are we talking about here? Or on the other side, when you say coach, what are you coaching me with? You're a tax accountant, I think. So what are we coaching on? Now, The answers are there. Trust me, I get it. If you look through that rolling carousel, you can see that he's given some responses back. But again, the desired outcome, right? I borrow this from Alex Hormozy. And if you don't know who that is, make sure you check him out, because he's done a great job at just being very succinct in how you get in front of customers, give them an offer they can't resist, and drag them in the door. And I've been applying a lot of his principles to what I'm involved with every day in our portfolio of companies, and it works. There's just no way around it. So we talk about, let's go back here to SV Tax Coach. The very first thing that you don't get hit with is, either a picture of Russell to create that connection immediately with him as an individual, because this is a professional service. But he also might have picked clip art to try and convey that message, because maybe he just doesn't appreciate being in front of the camera. That's cool. But off to the right-hand side, it actually just says request a consultation. Request a consultation. Let's try that one more time. Request a consultation. And the question would be, what are we consulting about? And his answer, I think, would be something like, well, I can tell you how I can help you. I think what you'd want to do if this was your business, or you're in a professional service business, is you would want to put right away, if you look at some of the other episodes, I pretty much talk about this all the time, because this is how you do a better job. You have to be very definitive in the desired outcome that you are hoping to produce for your ideal customer. Now, someone might say tax strategy is good for everyone, but is it? If you are working in a blue-collar job, is tax strategy as important to you as maybe someone who's in a white-collar job, as someone who's maybe a business owner, as someone who maybe trades stocks, as someone who maybe runs a hedge fund, as someone who maybe runs a startup? So who specifically needs the tax strategy? And if you needed to figure out, who is my ideal customer? If you've been running your business for a couple of years, the easiest way to figure that out is just to say, who have we worked with before? Who have we had the most success with? So the desired outcome isn't totally there. Their offer is there. If I go in here, I can kind of see request a free consultation. They're up here in the top corner. There's a free tax book. So again, I've kind of already got lots of thoughts on just how to sort of tweak the result depending on what the outcome would be. There we go. So if you run a professional services business and you're watching this video, you want to know what the desired outcome is for your customers. Then you want to know what the offer is that you're giving them to push them towards that desired outcome. And then you want to walk them through a customer experience. So in this particular case, we don't really see a jumping off point for SV Tax Coach. We don't really see how we get engaged with the process. We see him requesting a consultation from us, meaning we would make our time available to do something, but we don't really see how we do that. So anyway, by all definitions though, you can see that there's a lot of activity going on. He's making sure that his website is out there on the internet. He's producing content. If we take a look at his website, we can see that there is in fact a blog here, and let's just take a look and see how frequently he's posting. So July 19th, June 19th, May 19th, April 19th. Looks like once a month he's posting something. And if you go back through the archives, it looks like it goes all the way back to December 2020. I'd be curious to see how he's using this content to sort of further what he's looking to do. When you're a professional services provider, you really have a limited amount of time. So you kind of want to make sure that you're using the best time possible. I don't see that he is... Unless you can see it, I can't see it. Last time his site was updated was in 2021. That should be fixed up. But I don't see that he's on other social networks at all. I don't see that. And again, if you're a professional, a service professional, it might not be interesting for you to be on the other networks, but certainly there's an opportunity to maybe consider that. So anyway, there you go. There's something to think about if you're running a professional services firm. Get the blog, get the organic words, get Google figuring out that you exist, how you exist. This particular individual has been marketing themselves as a strategist and a coach. We get to the website. There seems to be some coherency there. Lots of sort of easy, low-hanging fruit opportunities to improve what's being offered here. And if you are a paid member, you're going to get to hear what that looks like based on kind of my opinion and my experience. That's all it's worth. And if you're not a paid member, then this episode hopefully was helpful in helping you discover how you can do the same type of research on your business and try to come to some conclusions like I am. Again, I do this all on the fly. This isn't pre-planned. What might be pre-planned is kind of which industry I go into, just to make sure that I can find a meaningful company that's worth reviewing and taking a look at. But if you're not a member, make sure you become one, because the content is helpful. It's helpful. There's lots of good stuff in there. I'm attempting to try and provide very practical tactics and strategies you can use right now based on what you just heard me talk about here in the last 15 minutes, and apply it to your business. So if you're a professional services provider, you might find it helpful. And if you're not, you might find the strategies and tactics interesting, and you might borrow some of them for your business. So if you're not a paid member, become one. Join me on the other side. And if you don't intend on doing that, then thank you for tuning into this episode, and we will see you in the next one.